Cletus is one of them. Kara, take it away.
Our next bout is scheduled for 4 rounds of action in the light heavyweight division. Let's bring out the fighters. Please welcome to the ring from the Bronx, New York, AFUNWA King.
This one is a 4-round light heavyweight bout. Between Nadim Salloum and AFUNWA
Welcome to the
King.
ring, his opponent from Brooklyn, New York. Make some noise for Nadim, the unpredictable Salloum.
Here comes Nadim Salloum. Matt, you asked me before, what can you tell about a guy when he gets in the ring?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things right now, Nadim does not show any negativity whatsoever. He looks so incredibly confident.
Yeah, he's got his contingency from Lebanon as well as some members of Gleason's gym in his corner. This man has every right to be confident.
He lives in Brooklyn, trains in Brooklyn. He stands 6'1", had an amateur record of 40 wins against 5 defeats. His opponent is also 6'1". Although I gotta tell you, Salloum looks a little bit bigger. And AFUNWA King claims an amateur record of 22-8. He's from Nigeria, who now lives in the Bronx, New York. Let's get it started and go up to Kara Castanova.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we go, live from the Paramount in Huntington, New York. Welcome to all the fans in the house and the fans watching around the world on Fight TV and Fight Network. This bout is sanctioned for 4 rounds of action in the light heavyweight division. It's brought to you by Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing and sponsored by Modell Sporting Goods, the Tudor Advisory Group, 94.3 The Shark, BTS, Core BTS, in association with Barracuda, the Inn at Fox Hollow, and Safety Mat, always in your corner. This contest is sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission. The 3 judges at ringside are Mark Constantino, Tony Paolillo, and Marcel Varela. And inside the ring, controlling the action at the sound of the bell, is referee Mike Rosario. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He is wearing the blue trunks. He weighed in at 174.2 pounds. He comes to us tonight with a professional record of 1 victory, 1 defeat, one of those victories coming by way of knockout, hailing from the Bronx, New York, AFUNWA King. And introducing his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He is wearing the black trunks. He weighed in at 173.4 pounds. He comes to us tonight with a professional record of 3 victories, 0 defeats, 2 of those victories coming by way of knockout. A native of Brooklyn, New York, by way of Lebanon, Nadim, the unpredictable Salloum.
And the referee, the man we just saw in the last fight, veteran of the amateurs, Mike Perez. The man in the blue, AFUNWA King.
Yeah, got
and
it.
his opponent, Nadim Salloum.
I was gonna say, got to give credit to AFUNWA King coming from the Bronx, coming out to Boogie Down Productions, classic song about the South Bronx by way of Nigeria. And now Nadim Salloum, who has that Gleason's Gym training. It's a famous gym in Brooklyn, New York. See if it pays off here.
And they do everything down at Gleason's Gym. They do, for years, they've taught professional wrestlers.
Yes, they have.
You ever worked out there doing that?
Yes. Big shout out to Bruce Silverglade, Johnny Rods, and everyone down at Gleason's Gym. Just a great place for people to go and to just get in shape and enjoy a great sport.
I have known Bruce Silverglade at Gleason's Gym since both of us had jet black hair and a lot of it.
Oh boy, look at that. Thank you for the visual.
Light heavyweight matchup. You got two right-handers in the ring. AFUNWA King and Nadim Salloum.
And when you think about this light heavyweight division, names like Artur Beterbiev and Alexander Gvozdyk come to mind. But when you look down here, you really can see how this is a great division because of the size of these fighters. They're great boxers, but also heavy-handed. And it looks like Salloum carries a low left hand. Kamish, does that bother you?
It always bothers me when you get guys, especially this size, who can punch. And you've got a low left hand. It just takes one shot.
That's it. That's it. And I understand other fighters will say, well, it's part of my style. I want to bait a fighter in, so on and so forth. It's not the traditional way that our sport is taught, but does that make it necessarily correct?
No, not at all. Not at all. And you know, you mentioned before, a light heavyweight, he's one of the champions, Artur Beterbiev. Nobody hits harder than he does.
Absolutely. You know, I always will try to find a fighter from a time forgotten that a fighter in the ring reminds me of. I did it earlier with the Ernie Shavers reference. I see a Zuma Nelson here for AFUNWA King, and perhaps it's because of that stalking style.
And of course, Zuma Nelson, former featherweight champion, one of the all-time great fighters. He's definitely in the top 100 of all time.
Bang, bang.
From Nigeria.
There you go.
Let's see if there's going to be some more than headhunting, although King has tried a few body shots.
But left hook caught King as he was moving laterally outside of the corner.
Final seconds, there we are. The bell ending round number 1. So if you've got your scorecards out at home, how did you have that one scored?
Tonight's action is brought to you courtesy
Nadim
of
Salloum against AFUNWA King.
In association with
Here at
Modell's,
the-
you gotta go to Lowe's. The Tudor Advisory
The
Group,
old Paramount
94.3
Theater,
The Sharp.
where they put on
Or BTS in association
musical
with
concerts,
Barracuda Networks.
comedy.
And at Los
Tracy
Alamos,
Morgan was here just
Gossip's
recently.
Place
The
for Gentlemen.
incredibly funny Tracy Morgan.
Always in your
They've got the
corner.
boxing, and they do so many other events here. They do it all here at the Paramount in Huntington, Long Island, New York. The next time you hear about a card, especially Star Boxing is the promoter here, you got to get out here because this is one of the biggest, most incredible towns on Long Island with, I think, more restaurants per square mile than any other city, town on Long Island.
Absolutely, everybody's got to eat, and right now,
Everything. They got
Salloum
everything.
and King are going to try to eat as well. Here we go. Making me hungry, Kamish.
They got it all. Pubs, everything. It's round number 2.
Look at how busy King comes out. Putting together punches and bunches to the body, to the head, just like he does in the gym. There's an uppercut snuck in.
Rosario.
Nothing.
Rosario. I mean, you know, if this was the amateurs, and I like this what I see with referee Rosario. In the amateurs, he'd be given a standing 8 count right now. This is not the amateurs, and he is allowing Salloum to get out of there.
Yeah, King threw a lot of punches there, and Salloum played it off as if it didn't hurt him, so to speak.
But that's going to cost him on the scorecard.
Absolutely. A lot of chopping punches from King.
And many of those punches we see from Salloum are slapping punches.
Yes.
He just looked down at his corner as if to say, help me.
What do I do now? Again, the left hand hanging low from Salloum. Although he does have long arms, it looks like he has a reach advantage here. 1-2, back off the
There was
ropes.
some pop on that right hand.
Yep.
Nice body shot by Salloum, but he takes a few in return.
Now notice that Salloum takes a heavy step with his left foot as he jabs, and he comes down flat-footed here. I wonder if King's corner will pick up on that. Nice counter strike there from Salloum as he tries to work his way out of the corner here.
Yes, and I'm surprised. That was a good point. And I'm surprised for a guy who claims to have a 40-5 record to be slapping like that. That was a nice right hand to the body.
And just picking up on little things as I watch the fight with everyone at home. I notice after Salloum gets off, he kind of just reclines back with his hands very low. Hands aren't high, and he doesn't move his lower half out of striking distance.
One minute to go. Here in the second round, scheduled for 4.
So King tried to establish the body earlier. Now he feigns the body and leads with that overhand right, as we just saw.
And the busy man, the man that
Again,
seems to be in the lead here, and I think the judges are being impressed by his busyness.
Oh, yeah.
The man in the blue, AFUNWA King. There's those slapping jabs. I mean, they're point scorers, but there's nothing behind it.
Salloum looks like he wants a one-punch knockout. There's a huge Lebanese contingency here in the building tonight. So perhaps there's this showmanship from Nadim Salloum that could be impacting the way he's fighting right now.
Final seconds of round number 2. This one's scheduled for 4, light heavyweight division. Well, we're here at the Paramount in Huntington, Long Island, as winter 2020 ticks away. Only about 2 more, maybe three more weeks, and it's going to be spring.
You speak to my heart, my friend. Pitchers and catchers have reported.
There
Baseball
we go.
I'm going to get my beach passes soon. Oh, I can't wait.
Are you, okay, we're both New Yorkers. You know
Yes.
that more than likely. Are you a Mets fan, Yankee fan?
Oh, you ready for this? I am a St. Louis Cardinals fan.
Where did that come from?
Because when I was a boy, growing up in Bayside, New York, Ozzie Smith would do backflips
the wizard.
out to shortstop, and I was enamored with him.
Of
But
course.
for the New York teams, I will pick the Yankees over the Mets.
Well, I'm going to cop out. For years, I have been a Met and Yankee fan. I got 2 to root for.
There you go.
Rosario brings them to the middle of the ring. Here we go, round number 3. Light heavyweight matchup. AFUNWA King in the blue, and his opponent, Nadim Salloum.
AFUNWA King busy working. You can see the sweat beating on his back, but also I noticed that King moves his hands. His hands are always on a bicycle, even when they're not doing anything, so to speak. That's what I like to see.
And just like that, as you're talking about it, that's exactly what he's doing. He is winning round by round, and I've given him the first 2 rounds.
As have I.
You cannot not give him the round just from that movement. There, Salloum tried to spin him out of the corner, but King really would have none of it.
When do you start to question Salloum's conditioning? Just looking at the bodies here, is that starting to weigh on him in any way in your mind?
It could be. I mean, being that I really don't know all that much about Salloum, he said, I'm in good condition. I've been training very hard for this fight. We don't know exactly if he used to train 10 hours a day, if he was going to have a body that looks kind of soft.
Good point.
You know, when you look at Tyson Fury, he doesn't have this beach body or whatever. Although I must say that last week in Lost Wages, Nevada, he looked better, I think, than I've ever seen him.
Middle of the ring, a hook to the body by King, backs up Salloum. What can King do with it, though? Little punch jab.
And you never know if King is going to start with a right hand or left. He'll stand in front of you, and he bends to the left, bends to the right. Sometimes he'll throw the right as a lead.
Oh, that right hand landed from Salloum, but King kept coming.
There were 2 lefts from King. Just kind of a slapping, lunging left hook from King.
And again, flat-footed is Salloum. He just got tagged. Oof.
At the end of a right hand that he was more or less pulling away from, didn't get hurt by it, but these are scoring shots, and he's missing his shots. The judges here, very good judges, and I think this one is quite easy to see. It's not a one-sided round. It's a competitive round, but being won by the man in blue.
And that heavy step from Salloum leaves him open to a straight right hand, a right cross that could come from King. Circling to the left, away from the supposed power hand, is King.
King not a big left hooker. The last 3-4 left hooks, that one thrown a little bit too far out. There's another one, not much on it. And that time, Salloum tried to counter that left hook.
Now Salloum is pressing the initiative here, backing King up.
But that was basically the first time that he's done that. And we've come to the end of the 3rd round. One more round to go in this light heavyweight contest. Remember, tonight's 2 main events. We got 2 main events.
How dare we?
Not one. Cletus, the Hebrew Hammer Selden, top 10, 140 pounds, maybe arguably, and I've been saying this for the longest time, the hardest hitter in the 140-pound division, and heavyweight contender Carlos Takam. And here we look into the corner of AFUNWA King, and we go over to the other corner of Nadim Salloum. And you know, underneath each stool is the safety mat. These mats, and we may get a shot of these mats, they are just...
Get your phone and never miss.
It's a...
Another
Tom
clutch by
Koleski
following Starbucks.
has developed them over the years. It soaks up all the water. It's like a big sponge that's removed. All they do is grab it and they pull it out. It's already out of the ring.
Brilliant.
In both corners.
You could see during the in-between rounds, Salloum's corner was telling him to move his lower half. And we were talking about that, how he just feigns back, he reclines away from the punches.
Right.
Move, and then King will be out of position. Perhaps you can land something there.
Let me ask you something about, and that was a good point. Going back to those safety mats, in all your days in combat sports, in a ring or wherever else it might have been, on a wet canvas, did your feet ever go out from under you?
Yeah, of course, it's the worst. And then you're aware of where the spot is. You can see one on the right-hand corner of the screen. You don't want to go there. It begins to start to affect your strategy.
I can't believe it's taken basically all this time to develop those things, and I think that every commission in the country should be using the safety mats.
Absolutely. Innovation.
Yeah, really. Left-right misses by Salloum over the head. King has much better defense than you might think because he's bending his knees.
Yeah. I was just noticing, it's almost that old George Foreman defense that he used to have, especially against Michael Moore, that crossing of the arms.
Well, the thing with George Foreman, his arms are the size of tree trunks, and if he crosses his arms, you're just not hitting him anywhere. 1 minute gone in the 4th and final round of this light heavyweight contest.
What would you do there on this other side here? Clinching on the arm, holding and hitting?
Exactly. I think he knows exactly where the referee is.
A good heel, as we say in the wrestling game. See the welts on the back of Salloum. That's from him rope-a-doping.
Yeah, the ropes, every time you go back to the ropes, when you slide along those ropes, it's kind of like getting whipped.
Finds himself in a familiar position, does Salloum. Great camera work, by the way.
Slapping with some of those punches. Salloum is really going to have to dig down now because I believe he needs a knockout, and I don't see that he has the power to get it.
Salloum circled to the left and came back to the right, almost content to stand there, maybe looking for that counterpunch knockout. There's the intention.
This has been an excellent
left hook.
matchup.
Yeah, styles make fights, and King has been coming forward the entire time. And King seems content to eat 1, eat 2 to get in there. Still working the body here in the 4th round of 4. Discipline, I like it.
Salloum is 1-0 with 1 knockout. And King is 1-1 with 1 knockout. So you gotta believe, I'm thinking anyway, that King, who's 1-1, is gonna move his record to 2-1 as we hit the 15-second mark. And Salloum is gonna lose for the first time. He's gonna go to 1-1, but hey, we've seen some strange things with judges, but we got some good ones in here tonight. Final bell.
I mean, for my money, I thought AFUNWA King was the better boxer here. I thought he displayed better skills and certainly took advantage of the opportunities given to him. I felt that Nadim Salloum could have done more.
Well, both guys walked over. They were real sportsmen about it, went to the other corner. Salloum seems confident that he's going to get his second victory. On my scorecard, I got it 40-36 for King.
Same thing here.
So neither one of us copied. I just want everybody to know. Neither one of us copied off
I was
each other.
covering my paper. I don't know about you. I'm a former school teacher.
Covering
you know?
your paper. You were putting up a wall over here. You put the television between us. I mean, come on. Randy G. Along with Matt Stryker.
You see the Lebanese flag in support of Nadim Salloum.
I'm going to be real interested to see how the judges scored it. I'm saying that 2 of the judges had a 40-36 and another had a 39-37.
Okay, I can definitely see that.
But it is, to me, going to be a unanimous decision. Kara Castronova
will be in the ring shortly as we take a good look inside the corner. The contingency from Gleason's gym talking to Nadim, cutting his gloves, and the look on the face tells you everything you need to know as we await the decision here. Sometimes that starts to give you a little bit of what my grandma would call agita. The decision hasn't come in yet.
usually, and I'd say 90, maybe 90% of the time, the longer it takes for a decision, and sometimes I look like a magician or a clairvoyant or something when I say there's going to be a split decision. The longer it takes, that means they are going over the scorecard several times.
What could they possibly be pining over here, though? Is there something that perhaps that Nadim did that would score points that we didn't see?
You know, could it possibly be a draw on one of the cards? Because look, I have it 40-36. I got all 4 rounds, and I think you had it the same.
Correct.
Let's say it was 39-37. But if they really weren't, if one judge wasn't watching it that way, we could have a draw. I don't think so. I'm looking for a unanimous decision. Let's find out. I'm very anxious to hear.
Ladies and gentlemen, Judge Constantino scores about 39-37. Anthony Paolillo scores about 39-37. And Judge Marcel Varela scores about a 38-38. For your winner by majority decision, AFUNWA King.
There we go.
Commish, I got to tell you, I'm super impressed because you hit that right on the head. Talk to me a little bit about a judge's mentality, something that the viewer doesn't necessarily hear a lot about. You're the perfect guy to talk